I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. More and more people starting to talk about the Christmas Day storm that we've been bringing up here the past couple of days. The big question right now is, will it stay true to form? Will it follow the leading of the Canadian model, the European model especially, and will it be as big, as strong, and as wet as what we're seeing there? Or as we're within a week here, do we see a few minute or subtle changes? When what that comes down to is, all right, look, are we going to be seeing this storm take the current track, or is it going to wobble just a little bit? Because when you're talking a heavy snow event or a massive storm event, a lot of times it's a game of just a few miles here or there. Let's talk about what we're seeing so far here at midday. The European model, we're expecting that new model update to come out here momentarily, probably within the next hour or so. So we don't really have any new information there, but the newer GFS model update has come out. And, as always, it's not as good at handling some of these winter deals. And so, yeah, it's actually taken some steps to move toward a stronger storm scenario, but it is still far behind what some of the other models are saying at this point in time. So there's not a lot out there that convinces me that we need to change the forecast either for a stronger event or for a weaker event at this point. What I'm really kind of zeroing in on and looking right now is the track of the low. Now, let's not really be too concerned about how strong the storm is yet. Let's talk about the low, where it wants to move, what it wants to do. And right now, the track of this low seems like it wants to be right across the Ohio River Valley, or actually up into central Indiana, and then moving on off to the north and east from there, coming out of, Texas, Oklahoma. So how far south does the low actually dig? Is it able to dig far enough south that we see this track altered? Does the track stay farther south? Those will be the big questions that we're going to have to answer in the days ahead. Right now, it really looks like there's not a whole lot of reason to change the track on this storm. This will do two things. First of all, it'll keep talk of some fairly significant snow in for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day in the center part of the country, and then Christmas Day into Boxing Day in the east. And what it's also going to do is probably have to increase talk about the cold air. There's an impressive cold air wrap with this system. So we're going to be seeing temperatures go way below normal for Christmas Day, way below normal then for the week after Christmas. And so this is something that probably needs to be watched very closely with regard to, heating costs and things like that, as this storm looks like it's going to wallop a large part of the major population centers over the east. Following on the heels of that, you might see a second wave of moisture come across, but it really seems to want to stay farther south. And at this point, if that storm is as big as we think, it's probably going to gobble everything up for a while, and we're going to be left in a little bit of a lull as we head toward New Year's. However, the latest model runs are showing another low moving into Kansas, Oklahoma area January 1st, and if it can hold together, we might be looking at some moisture trying to come across the region here, the center part of the country, as we go through the second into the third. It looks like there's going to be a lot of cold air in play there, so a secondary system could be bringing another wallop of snow. We'll have to see. Now, all of that is 7 days out and more. Close in, we've actually got some moisture that's going to be working across parts of Kansas as we go through tonight, northern Oklahoma, tonight into tomorrow. Concerned about a little bit of freezing rain there. I don't think the amount of moisture is going to be enough that we have to worry for cattle interests or anything that much. I'm looking at a glaze of ice and then maybe an inch to at most 2 inches closer to I-70 in Kansas. So I don't think it's a major story for cattle, although I will say this. After seeing temperatures as warm as they were late last week and into the weekend, cattle are still probably going to be a little ticked at the fact that it's gotten this cold and we're dealing with ice and snow right now. Elsewhere in the world, haven't seen a lot of change on the latest model runs in South America either. Still looking at a nice, probably 10-day long window of dryness in Argentina. That will be fine for wheat harvest to wrap up there. Don't have a lot to go, but what little they have, they can work through it. Also, probably not too bad for corn production, although we might start to hear a few concerns about dryness toward the end of that period. A good 1 to 2 inch rain event coming for the 27th through the 30th or so, and so that'll help. And then we're going to be seeing maybe another weather system right after the turn of the year. Brazil, I continue to be concerned about just a little bit too much moisture. Seeing a few more pieces of that information come through. A lot of it still is urban in terms of the pictures that I'm seeing. But we're hearing a little bit more talk about maybe some disease pressure or pest pressure down there just because it's been so wet. The southern part of Brazil looks worse to me here in the week to 2 weeks ahead than maybe the north. So maybe soybean areas get a bit of a reprieve. But Paraná, big corn-producing state, might have a few more water issues develop here over the next couple of weeks. The heavier rains will be over the southern half to third of the country. That's what we've got in our forecast here at midday. Honestly, as you can tell, not a lot of change today. If you've got any questions on the weather, give me a call here at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.